This is Nothing But Rugby with Kevin Hein. Today's episode will be all MLR coverage with Week 1 recap, Week 2 preview, my eye test of the weekend, and my Week 1 player awards, plus interviews from Thomas Reyes and John Cullen. Week 1 of Major League Rugby is in the books, and what an electric weekend it was. Sam Windsor led the Sabercats to a hard-fought win over the Colorado Raptors 21-12. Nola Gold put on a set-piece clinic led by 8-man Cam Dolan with 3 tries from the scrum in a 46-13 routing of Old Glory DC. Rugby ATL showed resiliency, scoring 20 points in the second half for a comeback victory over the Utah Warriors 28-19. The New England Free Jacks opened up the Rooney defense like a Southie opening up clams for some homemade chowder, winning 34-14 in a windy Sam Boyd Stadium. The San Diego Legion overwhelmed the Seawall and marched their way to a decisive victory 33-24 over the Seattle Seawolves. And the Toronto Arrows hit their marks with a 38-10 volley over the Austin Gilgronis. Major League Rugby Week 1 awards. My man of the match is Nola Gold 8-man Cam Dolan for his work in the trenches, his dominance in the set pieces, and 3 tries from the scrum behind big boy Matt Harmon and the Nola pack. Cam Dolan was everywhere and was overwhelming. My most valuable back award was earned by Nanu of the San Diego Legion. After a rocky start, Nanu and the Legion backfield found their stride with precision passing and deadly tackling. Nanu led his team to victory. My most valuable forward is Brad Hemopo of the New England Free Jacks, who is an absolute workhorse whose hustle led to my Week 1 try of the week, the Doinker.
It's been in favor of New England. They've done a very good job in that set piece.
Tagina taps and goes to the air. Big challenge for this one. Nobody wants it. Foden goes back, wants to usher it past, and hits the upright. Oh, it's unbelievable! That's one of the freakiest tries you'll see in Las Vegas. They better hit the high street for gambling later, because the luck is with the Free Jacks.
With Week 1 of the 3rd season of the MLR in the books, it's time to evaluate the league. Major League Rugby play has taken a huge step forward. Verified international superstars in the rugby world are forcing first-generation Americans to step up their game, and the fans are loving it. Game pace is fluid and uninterrupted with well-trained and coordinated refereeing teams. And while the league continues to hit its stride, more energy needs to be put into the broadcasting booths. And find pro commentators like Dallin Stanford, who are knowledgeable personalities to translate this sport effectively. It will be critical to its success. It'd also be great if we could get stat keepers to release the facts so rugby analysts like myself can better evaluate the games. Really excited for what Week 2 will be bringing.
Hello?
Thomas Reyes, Kevin Hein with Nothing But Rugby. What's going on, man?
What's up, boy? How you doing?
What was the atmosphere on game day? You were lucky enough to get to go to the games, you being in the area.
It was good. Surprisingly, with the rain, I thought the numbers would be a little low, but it was definitely one of the bigger turnouts for the start of the season, because I've been to all 3 openers so far.
It is awesome. What were you impressed with the San Diego's play? I thought it was a pretty big win the way they, really dominated Seattle. Outside the first 10 minutes, they got the ball rolling and they were dominant that whole game.
I thought the same thing. We looked really strong, and I can't wait to see what the rest of the season holds, especially against Seattle. It was a good win for us. Nice, strong start to the season.
Real strong start. You guys could own the Western Conference for sure. You took your young son to the ball game. What was his experience, and why, as a father, do you believe rugby will be positive for his future?
He loves going to the stadium. The San Diego Legion definitely catered to the families because they got like bounce houses and all sorts of stuff to do for the kids. The food's good. He just loves running around. All the other rugby families are there. They definitely push for that rugby family vibe that goes on, which I love showing him, and that's why I love bringing him to the event, because he gets to hang out with all the kids that he plays with and all the families that we hang out with anyway. So it's all about that rugby family mentality and just staying close and doing everything together,
That rugby culture, I do know. So, to segue into sevens, we got the LA Sevens coming up. I'm really excited to see you and the Renegades down there. You're bringing the Renegades, right? Tell me about that. What division are you competing in?
Well, we'll be in the open. We're a social side, so we need to keep to our bounds.
You guys are all about the good time.
Enjoy ourselves.
me and Reyes met each other at Vegas Sevens last year. We were playing each other in the second day. His team, the Renegades, were taking on my team, the J Bear Arctic Legion touring side. And it was the first game in the morning, must have been, 9 a.m.? And all of us were hungover, both sides. And, it's the social side. You guys came over with some Crown Apple chanting Renegades and started sharing it with us. And we all had that was a great time. That was a great game. Great social side.
That's how we want to make sure that the team is always having fun. Like, we want to play some rugby, but we want to make sure that the social side is getting some love too, Having fun with the boys. Every time the Renegades have gone together, though, almost 75% of the team is brand new. Like, none of us have ever met each other. But by the end of the tour, it's like we've known each other our whole lives. It's just been crazy.
It's an amazing bonding experience. And something that you say is every time you tour, it's a bunch of new guys. So when I do my military tours, a lot of time it's the same guys, and we add guys we meet down the road because we only take military and prior service veteran rugby players. How do you keep new faces showing up? How do you get the word about the Renegades, and how do you get everyone to come to tours like Vegas Sevens, LA Sevens, Tijuana 10s, and all the other wonderful tournaments you guys take part in?
It's definitely word of mouth. Probably it's one or two new guys come for every one person I'll invite. Maybe 3 or 4 of the guys I know personally, and then they will bring friends. So it really is just the word of mouth.
Yeah, I think it's a really the rugby network made up of guys like me and you that put these teams together and make these tours happen. Will you and the Renegades be supporting the Nothing But Rugby podcast crew and join us on the Rugby Passport bar crawl?
Now that I know what it is, yes, of course. We will be there.
Yeah, the LA Sevens Rugby Hub, Manhattan Beach, Hermosa Beach, Redondo Beach. All right, the Rugby Hub Passport, February 28th to March 1st, 2020. It's your guide to the Rugby Hub. All right, looking for fun outside the stadium? Grab your Rugby Passport with a map that guides you to numerous beachfronts, bars, restaurants, and stores offering rugby specials throughout the LA Sevens weekend. We're going to be the social, and I need a team like the Renegades. I need a guy like you, and I need leaders like you to get behind this and come show the world what a rugby social is.
Oh, we'll definitely be there. We'll be in full theme, geared out, everything for the social, no doubt. I promise you that.
What theme are you guys going with? Overalls? I will pack my overalls. I got a great set of overalls.
All right, perfect. You'll be in.
Every good rugby team that tours always has a great theme. So these home games at Torero Stadium and other ones across the game. Last season, being up in Alaska, I don't get to see a lot of the games in person. But I went to a Seattle Seawolves game last year, and it was rather affordable. Torero Stadium, is it cost effective to take a whole family?
Yes, which is the best part. That's the reason why we keep going, because I can afford to take the entire family and feed them and do all the events they got going on, because it's just a day out at going to the park or watching anything else around town,
I do. Yeah, that's amazing. I really love the MLR's focus on making it affordable for every family. Well, all right, man. Thank you so much. This has been a wonderful interview. You got anything you want to say?
No, I appreciate it. I appreciate for having me.
All right, so we're talking LA Sevens Rugby Hub Passport overalls theme.
Overalls. You'll know us. You'll see us.
We'll see you guys. Some denim overalls all over the place. Some cut-off overalls. Man, it's going to be great.
All right.
Well, thank you, Thomas. Cheers.
Cheers, man.
Our Week 2 Major League Rugby matchup selections. I'm taking the New England Free Jacks by 10 over the Utah Warriors.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you on that one, Kevin. We've got the Utah Warriors coming off a tough loss week 1, and I'm going New England Free Jacks by 4.
I'm taking Rugby United New York by 20 versus the Austin Gilgronis.
What the hell is a Gilgroni anyway? Yeah, I got Rugby United by 7. For our next pick, looks like we've got the Houston SaberCats and Toronto Arrows. Both teams coming off a great performance in week 1. SaberCats with a big upset against the Glendale Raptors. and I'm looking for them to continue that momentum. I got the Houston SaberCats by the biggest spread of the week, 12 points.
I'm taking the Arrows by 5.
Oh, wow.
I'm taking Seattle Seawolves by 9 versus Old Glory DC.
Old Glory DC had a good first week matchup, but like like they say, the defending champs are always tough to beat. So I got Seawolves by 7.
I'm taking San Diego Legion by 12 versus the Colorado Raptors.
Yeah, I also agree with that pick. I'm going San Diego Legion by 5, and that looks like I've got the Glendale Raptors off to an 0-2 start. Not looking good for their MLR season, but it's still young. So the last game of the week, we've got the red hot NOLA Gold and Cam Dolan taking on Rugby ATL and the Life U boys. I'm going, no doubt, NOLA Gold by 10, the odds-on favorite.
I got Rugby ATL by 2. I think this is my matchup of the week. I think it's going to be close, but I think Rugby ATL's backline and the Harley boys, the Harley brothers, the Harley dudes use their wheels and send Rugby ATL off with a victory.
Yeah, one thing we know for sure, it's going to be a barn burner.
Be sure to visit superbrew.com and make all your selections. Tune in next week to hold us accountable for these selections and check out our next week's selections. Join hundreds of rugby enthusiasts on Superbrew and make your own matchup predictions. Every morning in the mine, you can see him arrive. He's 6'6" and weighs 245. He's Big John. This is Nothing But Rugby with Kevin Hein. I'm on the phone with John Cullen of the Utah Warriors. And before he was a forward for the Utah Warriors, he was a line-out stealing, overtime-winning Army rugby player. In the 2016 championship game, this man steals a line-out for a game-winning try, and he made it look easy. John, how are you?
So good, bro. How are you?
I'm great, man. I'm great. Watching rugby all weekend. We got Six Nations going on. We got Major League kicking off. Got to say, it was real exciting to watch you run on that pitch again against ATL.
Yeah, it was nice to get back out there with the boys.
Yeah, it was just a nice little off-season you had, man. Very good off-season. You had a busy off-season. Congratulations on marrying your beautiful bride and your lovely new baby daughter. How has becoming a father benefited your rugby on and off the pitch?
I don't know if it's benefited, because it's definitely made me softer, grumpier at the same time. So
maybe we got to move you into the back line.
No, it's been great. Definitely gives you a new perspective on things, as you know, any cliche goes, of having a miniature human that you're responsible for.
John, what was your path from Army 7s to MLR?
I mean, rugby, the Army rugby was just a thing of already playing rugby before even joining, and being with the Eagles and the Saracens and all that stuff. The Army rugby was just a natural fit, and then the opportunity for this to be developed, and even playing with the Utah Selects before we were even the Warriors, when they were just trying to build this team from the ground up. It actually started there. And then the Warriors come about and they ask you to play, and it's kind of been that lifelong opportunity to play professional rugby here in the States and not have to go overseas, and not rely on having to go overseas. It's still a great opportunity for guys, but not have to rely on it, and, build our own rugby here and have this place be the goal, instead of like, oh, I can't wait, to get down to New Zealand or over to England or France. I got to do everything I can to get out of here and get there. And, to flip that mindset, I think is going to be huge going forward for a lot of these young players. Obviously, for me, this is all I've got. I've got 2 or 3 more years before the body's even broken down more. But for these young guys, it's pretty exciting.
Hey, John, 2 or 3 more years before you're in the broadcast booth with me. Because once you're done playing rugby, what's left to do but talk about rugby?
Honestly, that's the goal. I joke with, it's kind of been funny and weird at the same time of having Pittman and Davies as my coaches now. Is me and Pittman were club and Eagle teammates, and me and Davies are Eagle teammates. And it's kind of funny to see that they still always had that itch, and I'm kind of sitting here joking like, man, I'm counting the seconds till I can throw the coach hat on and watch these dudes run Broncos and do contact drills.
Yeah, That first Army tournament I did, the one I described, the Pioneer Sevens, that was my first time. That was my first experience with you, and you were one of the vocal leaders on that. I took a lot from you that weekend. You, Anthony Welmers, Will Holder, that was a really shaping weekend for me. I think you're going to have a great future in coaching.
I appreciate it. I mean, the Army team, there's just something special about it. I mean, even if it's the Pioneers or Vegas, it doesn't have to be Rugby Town. Or up, the Midnight Sevens you guys got up there in Alaska. Anytime you get to throw that jersey on, it's something special. And we've just had, a spoil of riches as the Army program with the WCAP and the quality of players that have somehow decided to join the Army and continue to play rugby. It's pretty ridiculous with that team where even when we're doing these, more fun or developmental tournaments, you could have 3 or 4 Eagles on the field, in practice, in the huddle, talking to these young guys, and it's pretty exciting. I mean, it's sevens, so it's horrendous, but it's as fun as we can make it.
Yeah. You and the Warriors had a tough loss to Rugby ATL in week 1. What are you and the boys taking from that moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, it was rough. And the biggest thing for us is the mentality side. We have a very new team, but we also have a big core group who's been through. Hold on, I got a crying baby. I'm on dad babysitting right now. But we have a core group of guys who have been here and been through the struggles and hard times with this team. And the number one thing that we're going to going forward and going to talk tonight in meetings is, this isn't the same old Warriors. We're not going to do this. And unfortunately, it reared its ugly head in this game where just an absolute control from almost every facet of the game. We have some things to work on, but control the game for 60 minutes and to let it fall apart in the last 20, anyone on the outside, every broadcaster and media, every single person is just going to say, oh, same old Utah. And they honestly have the right to say that after that because we didn't prove anything. But the number one thing is getting rid of that mindset, that thought, those negative thoughts that creep in when it's oh my gosh, not again. Because even I talked to the boys and I was like, the darkest moment you have is walking from that second try, and you're like, we're not doing this again. We can't go through this again. So definitely going forward with the mindset of just finishing the games the right way.
That's right. You guys got to find your identity, and that identity can't be losing in the final 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's not an identity. That's
it's lack of an identity.
The darkest, saddest moment as a rugby player. Credit to Atlanta. They stuck in it because they could have quit too. They have great coaches. They've got that young side. I read a quote. Scott Lawrence probably said it best. He had a quote before the game. 2 very similar teams. We don't have some World Cup superstar or these Tier 1 nation superstars that some of these teams have brought in. We have a majority of young American players and some young players from overseas. We have American coaches for the most part, outside of Latho, who's a proud Australian, but young American coaches. And very similar teams, and you kind of saw that with the game, going back and forth, fighting, putting a good fight in, and ATL was able to make those plays at the end. And honestly, it's just kind of finding ourselves. We have been here for 3 years, but we almost have a new roster. So not starting from scratch because we have a culture and a mindset that the Warriors have built. On a positive side, it's just erasing the negatives that were kind of built up last year.
Tough matchup this week against the New England Free Jacks. What will be the Warriors' keys to victory?
Kind of a surprising tough. They were definitely one of those teams coming in. I had zero idea what to expect from these guys. I don't know a ton of the Boston scene of rugby, of their local guys. A couple of the names that they brought in, and some of them are just other MLR guys. And you're like, all right, what's this team going to look like? And then they come in and put on a performance against a quality, a last year semifinal team in New York, and you're kind of like, oh, wow, they're just, these teams are jumping right into the league, on pace, ready to play, ready to perform. It's not like, they're going to limp into the league. So, and that's a good thing. You don't want these quick expansions to come in and it's not good rugby. So for these expansions to come in and be quality teams, that's always a good thing. But honestly, it's just playing our game and kind of finding ourselves on attack. I think we've created the mindset. Everyone knows we're going to be physical. Everyone knows we're going to hit. Everyone knows we can do that side of things. But I think finding our identity on attack and kind of getting back to the expansive, exciting, big play tries that we were used to, I think that's going to go a long way for us because we've installed the discipline, we've installed the systems, but I think finding a little more of our excitement on attack, and we're going to be a pretty dangerous team for the rest of the year.
John Wayne Cullen, did your pappy really name you after the Duke?
The Duke. I mean, I would take it Jeff Bridges, the Dude, or the Duke, both a winning name. But yeah, he did. He's a massive John Wayne fan. So is my grandpa. Unfortunately, I'm not super spun up on John Wayne isms. Like everyone thinks I would know everything about him. I don't. I know it's a little bit. I went to where he was raised in Iowa because me and my wife were driving from Iowa to Utah, and we stopped there. I've seen some of the movies, not all of them, but yeah, my dad was a huge John Wayne fan.
Big Bad John, you are all-American. Thanks for taking the time to talk Nothing But Rugby.
No problem, bro. Thanks for having me.
Join me again next week for Nothing But Rugby. Let me know in the comments what you thought of MLR's opening weekend, your awards and your predictions for week 2, and please leave your best John Wayne anecdote. Cheers.